Good evening, gang. Welcome back to the randomized grid streams. How are we all this Saturday evening? Hello to Johan, to Jim, to Andreas. Already getting in there in the chat. It's not a jump start. You've got in there nice and early. You've got an undercut on everybody else in the chat. What round is it? We are at the Dutch Grand Prix to start today, and then we will be doing Monza, I think, which is, of course, a very important one for Ferrari to win. And I think, if I remember correctly back to last week, I think we won the last race, didn't we? In Spa, we did. We actually finished 1-2. We beat Lewis Hamilton in the Red Bull. So yeah, the last round, the last stream, Lewis and Alonso shared a win each. And this is how things look. I will actually change the scene so you can see it. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? So Red Bull lead the way. We've got the same numbers in our points number, as you can see, but we have them in different orders. So Red Bull have 461 points. We have 416 points. Yes, we certainly do need to win in Monza. But first of all, we need to win in Zandvoort. And Lewis Hamilton has opened up something of a lead in the championship in the drivers. But Alonso is starting to claw that back. I think we won the sprint as well, if I remember correctly, in Spa. So that's helped Fernando's cause. But of course, Lewis with 6 wins to his name versus Fernando's 3. Fernando's actually won every sprint so far. Just noticed he's got 3 sprint wins. That's impressive. We're very good at short format racing here at Ferrari. Okay, so I've been behind the scenes. I say behind the scenes, this was like 5 minutes ago. I booted up the game having had my dinner and saw we had 25 days till the Dutch Grand Prix and thought, okay, well, I think I need to get to the point where the Dutch Grand Prix is about to happen. So I did some updates. We haven't had to rebuild any cars recently, but we've designed a new front wing, and that's on the car. I've also designed another set of side pods, I think, that are in manufacture. There we go. We're designing another underfloor. I think we had side pods that were designed and manufactured but just weren't on the car. So that was an oversight on my part. But yeah, I think we're now all set for the race. Let's see what the car analysis suggests. Well, that is promising, isn't it? First for medium speed, first for high speed at Ferrari. So that's looking promising. What isn't looking promising though, if I can find the email, where was it? Driver development. Fernando Alonso, age is catching up on him. His reactions, his accuracy are dropping. I think we'll only get this season out of him as anything particularly useful. But it looks like Esteban is on the rise. Do we need to bother about those? No. Before I dive into the Dutch Grand Prix, I'm just going to switch back to this screen. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's here in the stream, who's been part of a stream, who's subscribed, liked a video, commented on a video, or just simply watched one of the videos that I've been putting out since I switched to making F1 Manager content. It's massively appreciated, and we've actually ticked over 400 subscribers this week. We now, literally, at the moment of streaming, are at 427 subscribers, which is honestly 427 more than I thought I'd get. So just a massive thank you to everybody, and this week has been insane. The support on the experiment video on Wednesday was unbelievable. So just thank you. That's all I can say. It's extremely humbling. It's just fantastic to be able to share F1 content with you guys and then do streams and chat F1 with you. It's great. I mean, growing up as a kid, I didn't have anyone else who watched F1, and I've since met a lot of people who were in that sort of situation, and now we all get to share it because the wonders of the internet. So it's great, and I'm now going to celebrate that 400 subscriber milestone with victory in Zandvoort. So let's go back to the game and we will do a victory. But first we must do a pole position. And to do that we need to simulate qualifying and practice. So, well, Esteban Ocon, fastest in FP3. Only by half a tenth from Lewis Hamilton. That is interesting, but obviously we need to make sure qualifying is like that. And we've reached the first weekend of January, and Max Verstappen hasn't won a race yet. So I suppose that's positive. I mean, I'm being very tongue-in-cheek there. Don't take that as me being anti-Max Verstappen at all, please. We should... Okay. That's not good, is it? That's very not good. Do we take the penalty here? Or do we take it in Monza? I think we take it in Monza because it's a power circuit and it's slightly easier to overtake. It's not easy to overtake here. Ocon, well, I mean, this is a mess, isn't it? He's going to have at least another 2 gearboxes. I'm just going to put a new gearbox in Ocon's car because we need him to make the finish and score points. I'm not going to make any changes to Alonso's power unit at the moment. What I might do is, oh my god, that setup is disgusting. I'm just going to fiddle about with this because we do want to give him the best chance possible. Let's do that, and then bear with. I'm just going to sort out. This is what happens when you leave Ferrari to their own devices. They don't know what they're doing. That probably looks about right. That'll probably get something like 90%. Oh dear. Right. Just quick setup adjustments on the fly here at Ferrari. And then traction. There we go. Lovely. And then take a little bit of front wing out. A little bit of cornering. Beautiful. Again, that should be about a 90%-ish setup. Start qualifying. Yeah, we're going to get a penalty. That's fine. Run qualifying. It's a different universe that Max isn't winning. Yeah, he's not winning today. Charles Leclerc is winning in qualifying. Just Charles Leclerc things, isn't it? Arguably the fastest driver over a single lap. I would even say faster than Lewis Hamilton. And I think Lewis is at least the second fastest man over a single lap. Although, in qualifying pace, him and George Russell are very, very closely matched. In fact, Russell's been slightly quicker during their 2 seasons as teammates. So that's Charles Leclerc on pole. I didn't actually spot where we were, but Ocon will start 10th. Alonso's 2nd. So that's all fine and dandy. 2-stop strategy. Right, I'm going to go... I think we've only got 1 set of mediums, so I'm going to go not like that. I'm going to go hards, and then I'm going to go mediums. I'm going to look to undercut here. There we go. Charles' quali pace is 10 out of 10. I would argue that it's 11 out of 10 because he is so good over a single lap. Esteban, we're actually going to go long with him. Would a 1-stop be viable? Barely. We'd be so slow. So very, very slow. So let's do that. Let's go deep into the race. A safety car might come out and play to our advantage. We'll do something like that. And then I think we'll just sort of react on the fly there with Esteban. Right, let's do a motor race. There's the grid. Charles Leclerc on the pole position. His race pace is only a 7 out of 10. I think that's kind of overshadowed a bit by the actual Ferrari car as well, and the fact that the car itself isn't a particularly good race car. It improved towards the end of 2023 as Alonso gets a decent start. This is something that needs to change for the next game. Is like variable starts, because they all just sort of go as one, and then if you're on the inside, you're probably going to make a position, or at least on the racing line. Ocon has made up a place over, almost past Logan Sargent. I think, will we get past there? Sargent is, there we go. We're on the racing line, so Sargent ends up just getting bullied out of the way as well by Lando Norris. It's just taken full advantage. We've hung on to second place with Fernando, and Charles is on mediums. If Charles was in a Red Bull, he could win a championship. I was about to say that anyone in a Red Bull could win a world championship, but they'd probably be up against Max Verstappen. If they weren't up against Max Verstappen, then there are a select group of drivers who could go up against Max Verstappen and go toe-to-toe with him in the same car. And it's a very short list. It's Hamilton and Alonso. That's probably it. Probably about it. Fernando Alonso, we need you to drive in clean air and make this overtake, please. We'll probably do it with DRS in a couple of laps' time. So let's hold on to our deployment. Hello to Jess Aldred in the chat. Found my channel last night. Couldn't believe the amount of subs you had. Deserved so much more. Well, thank you. It's very kind of you to say. I'm very grateful for every sub that comes to the channel, and it's just here for me to enjoy creating content for you guys and to have conversations today about F1 and share a passion. That's what it's for. It's not here for anything else than that, but I appreciate the love and the support. I would also appreciate Fernando Alonso closing in on Charles Leclerc. Let's go aggressive on the tyres. Pick up the pace. Verstappen in the Mercedes is snapping at our heels. Hamilton's only fourth in the Red Bull. When did I start the channel? Well, this channel actually started under a different name in the lockdown. So, it's taken a little while, and it was more of a podcasty Formula One sort of discussion debate channel, but there's a lot of those around. It's a saturated market, and I always wanted to do like an F1 management game, but Motorsport Manager wouldn't launch on my laptop or on this computer when I got it, which was weird. We are now attacking Charles Leclerc. Can we go around the outside of him? We might be able to. Ooh, not quite. So once this game turned up, I was able to get creative with it, and we're going from strength to strength, which is great, and I'm having fun. Ocon is having fun as well. He is up to P7 already on those hard tyres. We probably don't want to cook them too much yet, though. We could probably deploy with him. Fernando, what I'm going to get him to do is top up and look after the tyres, so we can get the, he's taken the lead. Fernando Alonso has taken the lead. We missed it. Something about your videos caught my eye. Well, thanks, Jess. I appreciate you saying that. That fills me with great pride and pleasure, actually, about the work that I'm doing here to create content for you. Hamilton and Verstappen have swapped places. So, for anyone who's new to the stream, to this series, this is a randomised grid. I used a wheel spinner to sort of pre-select where everyone ended up, which is why we've got Alonso and Ocon. And I thought this would be a fun storyline to manage these two buddies. And we've had some incidents. We did cause a red flag in Imola, and Alonso also going for that third world championship. Hamilton got randomised to Red Bull alongside Leclerc, and Verstappen ended up in the Mercedes, which I thought was ironic. Norris and Russell are teammates at AlphaTauri, which is an interesting storyline as well. But I decided not to use AlphaTauri because I'm currently working with George. I say working with George. I'm managing George in the Mercedes career mode. As Alonso and Leclerc are wheel to wheel and almost having each other off the road there. We're still on just neutral deployment, so we'll just look after that. So yeah, so it's just a randomised grid. We'll do one season, and then I do already have the next challenge in mind. Well, I say challenge. It is a challenge, and it's also a little bit more fun as well. So we'll get to that in a few weeks when we get to it. But we need to do a victory in this race. So Alonso now clear. Let's attack on the tyres. Let's try and pull away. Because there's only 2 DRS zones in this. If you can get away, you can stay clear. Hamilton is on the back of Verstappen. Verstappen can actually do us a solid here and beat, Lewis Hamilton. Leclerc now 2 seconds behind Alonso, who's making excellent use of those soft tyres. We've got a yellow flag and we've got a red flag. We've got yellow VSC red flag. What has happened here?
Red flag.
Hamilton's out! Hamilton is out of the race! Verstappen has wiped out Hamilton. Oh, weird. Very weird. Verstappen has had Hamilton off. We didn't even need the Lewis Hamilton bottle this time. He's just been sabotaged by Max Verstappen. And the Red Bull mechanics can't believe what's just happened. That is incredible. Right, let's... So to let you in on a bit of a secret, this is actually my second red flag of the day. So I recorded another episode for the Mercedes journey today, and there was a red flag in that race. So we'll restart in pole position. If we've got any more... I think we put on another set of softs, and then we can just use them until they're basically done, and then run the rest of the strategy. At least for Fernando. For Esteban, he's got that fresh set of softs that we want to use. Oh, this isn't particularly good timing for Esteban. This is the problem. If you aim to run long, I mean, we could restart them, but I think everyone will go to fresh tyres. If Max and Hamilton were at normal places, it would have been revenge for 21. Well, I suppose the only revenge for that is Lewis winning the 8th World Championship anyway. So, yeah, that's a whole different story. I need to work out what to do with the tyres here. These lot aren't an option, obviously. We don't want to use the... Oh, this really wasn't... I'm going to just keep him on the hards. He'll be slow at the start, but hopefully we'll fix it. He's actually going to restart P4, which is not too bad. Right, 5 red lights. The lights are out. The race is on again. Let's deploy and push. We need to open up a gap here. What gave it away, Jess? I am a Lewis Hamilton fan. There is also a Mercedes car in the background and Lewis Hamilton's helmet. I am a Hamilton fan, but you know, I don't want to hate any driver. I will judge drivers on their conduct, and I will call it as I see it, really. So if Alonso does something that's a little bit devious, I will call it out. But I also think he's a fantastically talented driver, as is Max Verstappen. The performances he put in last year were just mind-blowing at times. Right, we have opened up a nice gap. There's Alonso. Here's everybody else. And Ocon is right in this, causing mischief. Those hard tyres are actually doing all right. They're actually doing all right. Leclerc's gone to a set of hards. That's definitely helping Alonso's cause. Verstappen is on a set of softs, so he could be a threat. Just curious, Jess, who's your favourite driver? Just out of curiosity. Ocon back down to P4. So Alonso now 5.5 seconds clear. What do we need pit stop wise? 19 seconds we lose under green flag conditions. I don't like how it does this. So we'll do that and then probably move that there. I think that's alright. Let's go lap 25 and lap 50. And we can actually get away with pushing on the tyres on that strat, so that'll do. Ocon still fighting with Verstappen. Those two are obviously good friends as well. I think there might be some contact there. Let's check in with Ocon. He's actually trying to pass the Mercedes. Let's get him topping up actually. Balance the fuel and everything. Those tyres, 124 degrees, aren't overheating.
Okay, yeah.
That's the hard tyre for you. Are we going past? Are we going past? Ooh. These two have collided already a couple of times this season. Most memorably in Silverstone, where Ocon basically did a Sebastian Vettel 2019 to Verstappen and just sent him into the Vale chicane. Alonso having a lovely time. That's always a good sight when you look behind you and you can't see anyone. He's now 9 seconds ahead, which is lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. I think we'll just push on until the pit stop. We need 19 seconds, which will drop us to 13th or so. If I was a team principal, which team would I choose to be at in terms of drivers or facilities or what Ocon has overtaken Verstappen? Sort of put a bit more on that question for me. There we go. Leclerc just blocking Verstappen's path, and through we go. Thanks very much, says Esteban. Alonso is having a lovely time. Could we actually go past Leclerc here? Do we risk Ocon going to high overtake aggression, because that only tends to pan out badly? Depending on which drivers to use, probably McLaren, because I think you've got two drivers who you can sort of build that team with. They're both really fast, and if you get the car right, they will both be race winners. Piastri's shown that he can win races. Lando's been ready to win races for a long time. He just needs that bit of fortune. So yeah, maybe I'd go with McLaren. Ocon now goes through for second place. We are going to deploy. We're going to run away from Charles Leclerc. So Alonso, 19 seconds, drops him around Gasly. Stroll in the Haas is doing a decent job there. So Ocon on his tyres actually is doing alright, considering they've done 2 starts. He hasn't dropped Leclerc as I hoped he might. But we are a couple of laps away from Alonso's pit stop, so this is where it's going to get interesting. And with Hamilton out of the race, Alonso winning this puts him in the lead, I would think. If it was facilities, probably Mercedes. I think you've got everything there, everyone's on board. Ferrari have probably got facilities that are just as good, or if not far off, but just the internal pressure, the Italian environment there, the pressure of the Tifosi, I think gets in people's heads, and it can be a bit difficult. Right.
Box this lap, box.
I say that as I'm calling a Ferrari driver into the pit lane. So, yeah, I mean, so many have gone into Ferrari and tried, but it's not worked out for them. Alonso, 2.6 second stop. And he pops out, I think. Oh, he's going to be... Don't mind that. He's just sort of weirdly ghosted through an Aston Martin. And we are in P6. So that's not terrible. Get the tyres up to temperature. Leclerc now leads this race by 1.5 seconds from Ocon. I think Leclerc's probably going maybe to the end on those. Although maybe he's probably going to stick a set of mediums on it. But we're going to be coming at him at a rate of knots. Alonso does get DRS. Has he been driving? He's been driving in clean air this entire time. Alright, let's get neutral deployment and we'll push on the engine. What's left of it at least. Ocon is dropping off from Leclerc. Alonso needs to drive in clean air and go past Tsunoda. There we go, job done. Yeah, the Tifosi, just the history of Ferrari, the expectation. It's all too much. And Fred Vasseur's doing a great job. He's just sort of impervious to it. So, jobs are good in there. Carlos Sainz is our next victim with Fernando Alonso. Sainz obviously in an Alpine. We need to get past him. Ocon needs to pick up his pace. He's actually not far away from his pit stop lap. So, might just long it out a bit more with Esteban. Verstappen's in. What's he going to? He's going to some mediums. So he'll be going for another set of softs, I'm guessing, at the end of the race. Alonso passes
Let's go.
Sainz.
Good job.
And Alonso's only 4 seconds off the lead. So we're in a very, very good position here. I think what we'll do is we'll get to the point where Ocon is giving Alonso DRS and then call him in. So maybe this next lap around. Yeah, we'll bring him in now for the mediums. So Alonso will now start getting DRS. Don't want him driving in clean air. Push with Ocon. And then we'll unleash Fernando after Charles Leclerc. In comes Ocon then. Oh, that was a bit awkwardly done. And Alonso is only 2 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. 2.7 second stop for Ocon. He's going to drop out in the midfield. He'll have some more overtaking to do, but that's fine. Fred is almost the same level as Toto Wolff and Christian Horner with improving the car. I mean, I'm not quite sure how good Fred Vasseur is. He was obviously at Sauber and they didn't have the facilities or the backing to do anything much. So time will tell with Vasseur, but people who know him from the GP2, well, the junior Formula, and those who know him from around the paddock say he's very, very good at what he does. And he's had a solid first season at Ferrari. So they won a race, but they could easily have had other wins. They could easily have had no wins like Mercedes. So yeah, he's done all right. Talking of wins, Alonso is hunting down Charles Leclerc. And I think we might be about to make the overtake in the not too distant future. This strategy is working out very well. I'm very pleased with this. That red flag probably wasn't very well timed for Ocon, but he's kind of saved the day there with his strategy. And Alonso's strategy is working out beautifully because he's now on better tyres than Leclerc and is about to have the lead of the race. So hopefully we're going to have... Oh no, we do have DRS. That was beautifully done, Fernando. We'll just disappear then. See you later, Charles. Sorry, Johan. We'll have to just leave Charles Leclerc for dust. Ocon is making forward progress because Sainz has now gone into the pit lane. I think Ferrari have finally found a person who can do strategy. Me. Ferrari wasn't unlucky at Vegas. Charles could have won. I mean, yeah, it was not great timing of the safety car that night, but then it's the brakes, I suppose, in motor racing. Verstappen and is that Bottas? He's just overtaken. Yeah, Bottas in P5 for Williams. This is insane. And Hamilton in the hedge. Not things that I would like, but anyway, we'll save a bit of fuel with Fernando. Ocon is closing in on Bottas. They're both driving in clear air still. Ocon. Right, we will start deploying with him and get him past this Williams. I'm the new strategist. It's that the meme from Captain Phillips. Look at me. I'm the strategist now. That's me to Ferrari. It's absolutely me to Ferrari. Okay, oh, there's a bit of lag on the game. We've had the stream crash before. We've also had the drivers crash before, so don't want any kind of crashing today. No thank you. Not when I was editing a video this morning, got to the end, and the editing software decided to crash without an autosave. Yes, that meme. Absolutely, that is the meme.
Yeah.
Okay. We are clearing off from Leclerc, who probably isn't going to the end. He's probably going to stop again. But we are going to have such an advantage. Ocon is now battling Verstappen for P3 and is passing him. It's all coming up Ferrari. Put your money on Reds, everybody, because it's all coming up red with Ferrari. And the most ironic thing is that Charles Leclerc has gone to Red Bull and has barely won a race. At least in this universe. In the F1, in the Mercedes Manager universe, in the Let's Play that I'm doing, he's won several races, so he's not doing too badly. He's now 12.5 seconds behind Fernando, which is just absurd. What's the lap time difference? Only 4 tenths. We've got yellow flags. Are they going to escalate like they did last time? Crash involving multiple cars. Oh, it's the Williams! The two Williams drivers have bumped wheels and both gone dirt driving. And Bottas has rejoined the track and then just stopped. That was weird. Okay, Ocon is actually going to get DRS from Leclerc now. So we can attack with Esteban. We might finish 1-2 in this race. This is incredible. Time penalty for Hulkenberg for... I'm not sure why. Right, Esteban, are you going past here? Yes, he is. Go on, go on, go on, Esteban. Yeah, love that. There we go. And we're first and second, and we got the DRS. Perfect timing again. The boys know what to do. It's wonderful. Charles is like the most unlucky driver ever. Although Lando Norris is a close second, to be honest. Look at George Russell up in P5. Battling with a Mercedes. The irony. The absolute irony. There he is. The George Meister at the front. Fernando Alonso leads by 12 seconds over Leclerc now, who's fighting back. We probably don't want to be killing our tyres quite that much. Ocon back into second position. We could probably attack with the tyres with Alonso now. We might have built up enough of a gap to pit and then pit before Leclerc with Alonso. I don't think we'll come out ahead of him. We'll probably come out in third, to be honest. Verstappen's 22 seconds back. Alonso's having a spectacular run. Oh, Leclerc's just been blocked and gone into the pit lane. So he's going to be at our mercy towards the end of the race. Fernando is a lap away from coming into the pit lane for some mediums. What's Leclerc gone on to? Softs. Interesting. He's going to be very fast. Lando has 100 race starts and doesn't have a win. Yeah, I mean, a lot of drivers have got to 100 race starts and not won, but none have probably been quite as closely unlucky as Lando Norris. Ocon now leads the race. Yeah, it does make sense because he's been in a McLaren that's not been particularly competitive. Alonso has rejoined 12 seconds ahead of Leclerc. Unbelievable strategy here at Ferrari. We have absolutely hit the nail on the head. Russell's had his race ruined with a pit stop issue. Ocon, how far have you got left? A couple of laps. So Hulkenberg, I wouldn't say he's been unlucky. I think he's probably been at the top of his talent with the car he had, but not had the car, if that makes sense. But I think he's still a very, very good F1 driver. I think it's probably beyond him a bit now, considering his age. But then look at Lewis and look at Fernando. They're sort of defying the odds, aren't they? So not that bad. Where's Ocon going to drop back out in fourth position and a few seconds behind Leclerc, who is going rather fast. But he's still 11 seconds behind Fernando. And Ocon is now on softs, which are fresher, and he can push. So Verstappen jumps out of the way onto a set of softs himself. Leclerc is going to be under a lot of pressure to hang on to that P2. Lap time wise, Ocon's like 9/10 a lap faster. Made that 1.5 seconds. Jeez. Not conserving the fuel there. Okay, we are now right on Leclerc's tail. Ocon is going to have started P10 and he's going to overtake the guy who started on pole position twice. Yeah, of course there's a red flag in there, but we've had great pace. The strategy has been excellent, if I may say so myself. That switch to hard tyres at the restart really wasn't the play from Red Bull. They make some weird strategy choices in this game. That's something I'd like to see put into next year's game. Is actually you have your chief strategist, and they depending on what you do with your practice, how sort of detailed it is. They give you different strategies. The strategy accuracy is better or worse depending on how good they are and the facilities you've got. Because otherwise the strategies are very much look at this slope that's on the screen here and match that and you'll be fine. So maybe they can incorporate that. We need to push and get away from Leclerc here. Alonso is very happy out in the lead. Am I going to do Monza in this live or only Zandvoort? Yep, we're going to do Monza. We've always done 2 races, minimum 2 races.
DRS is
think we did 3 races in one stream once, but it will only be 2 this evening because I am feeling a little bit tired, but I'm having fun all the same because we're winning basically. It's always fun when you're winning. Although, if you're winning just constantly, I suppose it can get a bit boring and repetitive because everyone likes a challenge from time to time. If I can get my words out. Now we are 2 seconds clear of Leclerc. Lovely jubbly. And let's bring it home then, lads. Where's Alonso? There he is. He's just navigating some traffic. So, what are the standout performances? Russell P6 in an AlphaTauri. That is superb. Lando P9. Credits Lance Stroll. He's got a Haas into the points. McLaren not having a good day. Williams had their day ruined by their drivers colliding. Sainz, smooth operator as ever. The only Alpine in the points. Magnussen 13 seconds off it. Ocon is catching Fernando, although they're actually equal on lap time now. For Johan, it is 10:30. Wow, that is bedtime for me. I won't lie. I like to be tucked up in bed around 10:30, 11 o'clock. Okay, I think we're about to hit the last lap. And indeed we are. There is Fernando Alonso, who is going to win this race with an engine that is very tired. We're going to need to take some power unit penalties in Monza. Johan saying you can't watch the race afterwards. Oh, we've got an accident. No problem, Johan. Right. Oh, you live in Africa. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a couple of hours ahead. Before 3 hours ahead. Chad Alonso. Perez crashing out of this race then on the final lap. I mean, Johan, as always, the streams will be on YouTube afterwards, so you can always come back and watch it again in the morning. Not a problem. Fernando Alonso wins the Dutch Grand Prix, which means I can get the hat.
We deserve it. I think we deserve it.
We can get the hat. There we go.
Taking it back.
Of course, it brought him luck last time out in Hungary.
Everybody
Andreas is good. It's a bit late for you as well. That's fine. Not a problem. You tune in as long as you please. Not a problem. But Fernando Alonso is a winner again in Formula One. It's his 6th win of the season. Good night to Johan. I'll speak to you later on. Esteban Ocon, great drive from him. 10th to 2nd. And he got the fastest lap bonus point. So that is great constructors points. Fernando Alonso now takes a 2-point lead with him to Monza. So that is all good stuff. And we've closed up to just 16 points behind Red Bull. That incident, Verstappen has absolutely mugged off Red Bull there, his former team. And now they are up against it. Lewis Hamilton losing the lead of the World Championship. Bye, Johan. And we will press on to the next round. Compulsory car part purchases of a gearbox. Right. Medium risk on that. Let's head to Monza then. The most important race of the season for Ferrari. And we might even have a new underfloor to put on it. Can we rush it? First car part in 5 days. No, we won't have it in time. So we might as well not bother. We'll have it in time for Singapore. Yeah, and then obviously the 2023 season is just so long. 22 races. Well, this is 23 as well because Imola's even in there. So it just, you're like, oh, Singapore, we're nearly at the end. No, you're not. It's still basically mid-season. It's insane. Absolutely incredibly long season. You can tell why the staff, the mechanics are all just flat out exhausted Okay, we are going to say to the sponsors, where is it? Finish position. We will have a 1-2 today. Finish guarantee. 2 drivers, first and second. Let's do fatigue reduction. Because we've got some tired bodies in the pit lane. Right, Forza Ferrari, to the Italian Grand Prix we go. We will be putting in a new power unit for Fernando. We might as well start him in the back and just put a brand new everything in. So with Esteban, let's put in an old power unit for practice. Obviously, we started this week as well with a live stream, didn't we? The Lewis Hamilton season finale in the Mercedes career mode. Of course, if you've seen it, you'll know that Lewis Hamilton did win that 8th World Championship and then retired. Oh, it's the alternative qualifying allocation. Not that it matters because we're just going to look at all the penalties. Oh my gosh, look at all the penalties. It's not going to matter because we're just going to be simulating it anyway. It does not matter. Right, we probably need to sort out the setup as well quickly, which I will do, and then that like that. Yeah, that probably looks somewhere about right. So, engine, need a new one. Hello to Pulse Potato in the chat. Enjoying my content. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It's always great to hear that people are enjoying what you do, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of it. I hope you are enjoying this live stream. We don't need a new ERS for Fernando Alonso. Pulse Potato, tell me who your favourite F1 team or drivers are. Always good to know who people are rooting for. At the moment, we're all rooting for Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon, aren't we? In this, obviously. Right, we probably should do something about. As I said earlier, when you leave Ferrari to their own devices, this is what happens. It's just a mess. Cornering, I can go back. Oh, the traction can come back as well then. Braking stability. Let's do that and that. Yeah, that probably looks about right. Cool. Let's do that. Alonso's probably going to start last. Not a problem. He'll still win. Okay, Esteban Ocon will start this race from pole position. It's a Ferrari front row lockout, but obviously Fernando's going to go to the back. So the grid, Hamilton's only 8th in standard qualifying, but look at this grid. Look at this grid. Ocon on pole in the Ferrari, alongside him is Charles Leclerc. 3rd on the grid is Lando Norris in a flipping Alpha Tauri, ahead of Lewis Hamilton in a Red Bull. And then George Russell in the Alpha Tauri will be 5th. Bottas will start 6th. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Your favourite team is McLaren. How can you not like McLaren, honestly? The new McLaren, the papaya McLaren. It's such a bright car. They've got great drivers, likeable drivers. I like Zach Brown. I like the way he goes about things. I know some people aren't such a fan of him, but you compare him to Ron Dennis, it's chalk and cheese. I grew up with the Ron Dennis McLaren of Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard, Kimi Räikkönen. How Kimi Räikkönen didn't win a world championship with McLaren is astonishing. But he was unbelievably fast. He was probably the fastest driver in F1 at the time, even beyond Schumacher in terms of pure speed. But just reliability kept killing his chances. Right, let's see. And Pulse Potato says he likes Lando Norris or George Russell as your favourite driver. So, I mean, they're two good options. I'm kind of a British bias here. I like all British drivers. So, except like Eddie Irvine, didn't like him. Well, primarily because he drove for Ferrari, and also not particular. How are we only 7th? Oh, we only took one. Oh, so we've taken so many penalties already this season. It's 10 for the first, 5 for the next. Hello to S Surge. I'm your new favourite YouTuber. Well, that is quite the compliment. Thank you very much. I hope I can continue living up to that. So, yeah, welcome along, S Surge, to the stream. We are preparing for the Italian Grand Prix with Ferrari. We've got a randomised grid as well, which is why you've got Alonso and Ocon at Ferrari. And if you haven't seen these before, prepare to be stunned about who's driving for who. Let's go like this then. So if Alonso's only 7th, then I don't know what that's going to show for the rest of the grid. You got out of Williams. No, I haven't been with Williams. I was with Mercedes. This is a different save. Right, let's do a motor race, the Italian Grand Prix. We're all tifosied up. We've got the hat. We're on pole position. What could possibly go wrong? Look at the AlphaTauri there. A wild AlphaTauri in 3rd place. I just saw the intermediates and thought, oh my God, is it actually raining? No, it's not. It's fine. Esteban, do your thing from the front row, please. Here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The lights are out. The Italian Grand Prix is on. And Esteban is pulling away. Oh, Leclerc is on a set of soft tyres. That's not good. But Lando Norris is going into 2nd position on a set of hards. Go on, Lando. Go on, Lando. Do it for Italy's 2nd team. No, he hasn't done it. It's not. Alonso's 5th. He's got past Hamilton already. That's incredible. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. So, sorry, yes, I was with Williams for that. So, that was just purely experimental. I just chose Williams for that one because I haven't used Williams on this game, really. So, yeah, that was right. So, I do the career mode with Mercedes, and we're doing this randomised grid with Alonso because we've got Alonso with Ferrari because we've got Alonso and Ocon. So, I thought that was an interesting story as Alonso is going past George Russell. He's having an absolute mad opening lap. Is Fred Alonso. George has got the slipstream off of Lando. What's happening at the front? How close? That's how close Leclerc is. Of course, a previous Italian Grand Prix winner. Alonso has got himself into P4. And it might even become P3 here. Let's drive in clean air. And just go aggressive on the tyres.
And we need to look after the tyres.
We need to look after the tyres. We do indeed. What's the furthest I've got in a career? So where I am with Mercedes right now, which is season 3. So, although actually on the 2022 one, which I didn't do any videos for, I think I got to season 3 as well with Aston Martin before winning the World Championship. Pierre Gasly was the driver I won the championship with. Alonso is 2 points clear of Hamilton and 2 places ahead of him in this race. Ocon remains in the lead, but Alonso is going to be 3rd. Ocon does not remain in the lead anymore. He's lost out to Leclerc, but that's fine. Leclerc's on a different strategy to us. So if we just stick with him, I'm sure it'll all be okay. What a first lap from Alonso. The man is absolutely on one today. Forget the fact that his stats are degrading because he's getting old, but he is absolutely flying. Although Norris is only half a second behind. We'll just keep following Leclerc. That's fine. Alonso, he will eventually pull away from Norris, who's on hard tyres. There you go. Ocon now retakes the lead. But it's just going to sort of yo-yo because of the DRS factor. Although if we... Oh, we've got a yellow flag. It's Hamilton! He's having an absolute stinker. He's off the road. He's crashed out again. Lewis, man, what are you doing? When do you ever see Lewis Hamilton do that? That is astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. He's still in the race. But my word, Alonso's been handed a golden opportunity to further extend his championship lead.
I can't do anything, guys. Keep it up.
But honestly, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna use team orders. If Ocon's winning this race, then so be it. I would have let him win in Belgium, but he threw it off the road. He's throwing it up the inside of Leclerc, and is he taking the lead? Yes, he is. Esteban Ocon back into the lead of this race. It's all going very, very nicely, isn't it? Hamilton into the pit lane for new tyres. I think he had damage to his rear wing. And yeah, that's not legal at all. Honestly, if you've got rear wing damage like that, that doesn't work. There's a genuine gap there. It's not like, oh, he's got a bit fallen off the corner. And look over here as well. It's broken here too. That's wobbling and that's falling off. That's not a safe car. That's Ocon in second place. That's Ocon taking the lead. Lovely. more of this, please, Esteban. More yellow flags. Tsunoda with a lockup. That's very Tsunoda on F1 Manager, isn't it? Shout out to Carlos Sainz in P4. But Norris is actually holding his own in 5th at the moment. Doing a good job there. Russell dropping back a bit. Ocon loses the lead. Bottas has got himself up to P9. McLaren are once again very much in the mud. Alonso's closing in on this squabbling pair as well, by the way. He's now just over a second behind Ocon. In fact, there you go. We can see the battle for the lead from Alonso's point of view. That's Ocon taking the lead. And very happy about it, of course. Why wouldn't he be? What's Leclerc's tyres like? Yeah, they're not particularly great, are they? So, all good here, I think, because we can just pincer... Oh, Bottas has blown it for Williams. We can pincer Leclerc, basically, because we can do one ahead, one behind, really, on the strategy. Hello to Pulse Ollie in the chat. Welcome along. Is this your... I think this is your first time here. Tell me who your favourite F1 driver or F1 team is. And if you're new here, this is a randomised grid, which is why drivers are in weird places, like Lewis Hamilton in a Red Bull and Max Verstappen in a Mercedes, and Esteban Ocon in the lead in a Ferrari. So he's just retaken the lead from Leclerc. Honestly, I thought Leclerc might clear off once he got into the lead on those soft tyres, but he's not. He's probably doing a one-stop where he'll stop earlier, but we'll be able to catch him back up. Alonso sitting very pretty in third place. Is he still driving in clean air? He is. Ocon is doing a tremendous job, defending like a lion. In comes Leclerc, and he's come out in P10. We are still several laps away from our pit stop. Leclerc is on a set of hards, so he's taking those to the end of the race. We are now first and second. I'm going to tell Fernando Alonso not to fight. Oh, Ollie's had to reset his computer. His favourite team is McLaren or Mercedes. Very much a man after my own heart then. McLaren or Mercedes for me. I mean, for a long time I thought I was a McLaren fan, and then Lewis Hamilton went to Mercedes, and I realised I was a Lewis Hamilton fan more than a McLaren fan. But McLaren's still a team very close to my heart, because they're Woking based, and I grew up about an hour away from Woking, so they're literally my local team. So yeah, I've been past their base several times for different reasons. And obviously you've got Mercedes-Benz World, which is based in Weybridge, just around the corner from Woking. So Mercedes and McLaren, two brands that are well entrenched in my sort of development as a person. And Ferrari very much were the enemy when I was a young boy and a teenager. But right now, they're the team I'm using, and we are first and second first, as I like to call it. We need, for a pit stop, let's just check, 24 seconds. So I'm guessing that Leclerc is well inside that. Well, I say well inside that. He's only 23 seconds behind, and we're not far away from our pit stops. So let's get to them. We are looking after everything. It's going very nicely. Leclerc won't be that far ahead of us, and he's going to have much more wear on his tyres. So when we'll bring Ocon in first, but what we will do is get Alonso to attack, and if he overcuts, he overcuts. If he doesn't, fine. But I've made my decision that they're going to stay 1-2. I'm not letting them fight and risk crashing out right now, so that would be silly. If that happened, the Tifosi would have my guts for garters. Welcome back, Ollie, to the chat. And we are heading to the pit lane then. We've got plenty of battery to use and deploy. We probably could have deployed it already, but thought I'd save it up for once we pitted. So Ocon, we need a good stop please for you. 3 seconds, not great, not terrible. Leclerc should go through. There he goes. But we will pop out a few seconds behind, and his tyres are already down to 83%. So we are in a lovely position. We can just go and hunt him down. Let's go aggressive on our tyres for now and see if we can close that gap. Ollie, out of the two McLaren drivers, who do you think will win a race first in 2024? Will it be Lando? Will it be Oscar? That's a problem. A 7-second stop for Fernando Alonso. Look at this! AlphaTauri are leading first and second of the Italian Grand Prix. Their love affair with Monza is just incredible. And Lando Norris is leading George Russell, and Charles Leclerc is now third behind them. Ocon, is he closing them down? Piastri to be the first McLaren driver to win a race this year. That's bold. I like that. I do like that. honestly, I think it might be Lando. But it also wouldn't surprise me if it was Oscar, because he showed last season that he was absolutely worth
Take
the
care of
hype
the tire.
that was around him. Let's get Alonso pushing a bit more. We are catching
So
Leclerc.
deployed.
Who do I
Yeah,
think
copy.
will be the most competitive car of 2024? Red Bull, probably. They've got Adrian Newey, the bloke's a genius. The problem is, because we've got such a short cycle on these rules before they're shaken up again in 26, which is just stupid. You're not going to, any progress that you make now, you then take into 25, but then you're going to be looking at 26. So there's not much point. You might as well just sort of put your resources into that. If you can't make a real fist of it now, then look at 26 and make sure you get them right. But other than Red Bull, I think we'll see a big step from Mercedes. I really will. I really do think that we will. James Allison will have got hold of that design and ironed it out. They got duped last season in 22 by the win in Brazil, and they've said as much. And then they ended up sort of halfway house with that car last year, the W14. It did a couple of bits really well, but it wasn't really good at anything, to be honest. The only thing it did well was frustrate everybody. And yeah, I think we'll see a better Mercedes. I wouldn't be surprised if McLaren start the season as the second fastest car. Ferrari, they seem to have got on top of things, but they're Ferrari. How much faith can you have in them? So, yeah, there's going to be a lot going on, I think, for 2024, because Red Bull have got to live up to what they've just done, and everyone else has got to do a better job. It's as simple as that. Charles Leclerc, by the way, is about to lap Lewis Hamilton, his teammate. Where is... There you go. There's Lewis Hamilton about to be lapped, having an absolutely dismal day again. In the last race of this stream, which was just before, he was punted off by Max Verstappen in Zandvoort. And in this race, he's thrown it at the wall himself. Only hope is for someone to challenge Red Bull. Yeah, I mean, that was the frustrating thing about 2023, was we had teams that looked like they could take the fight to Red Bull, but no one really ever did. They all got to be a bridesmaid, but they, as I said last week, they were just holding the end of a very long train of the wedding dress. So Ocon moves into P2 and is now just 4 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. What's the tyre situation? We are much better on tyres. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Has Norris stopped? No, he's still on hards. That's why he's so far up. Yeah, so I think if we can see a more consistent threat to Red Bull, and maybe they pinch a few wins, I still think we'll see Red Bull be the dominant team, the team that wins the most races, wins the championships. But honestly, look, regardless of what you think of Max Verstappen, whether you like him or not, I'm not particularly a big fan of him. I don't like Red Bull. I don't like Christian Horner, really. I think the way they've conducted themselves over certain issues has been not good. So, yeah, I think Max's talent is... Excuse me, Lewis, I thought you were a lapped car there. Max's talent is undeniable, but you still want to see him work for it. I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan, but those seasons where he was fighting Rosberg and coming out on top, and even in 2016, it was more exciting then. And the fights with Sebastian Vettel, they were so much more enjoyable and pleasurable to watch and be a part of than 2019, when the season was basically over by the middle of the year. And then in 2020, of course, it was fun because it was the 7th World Championship, but we kind of knew he was going to win it from very early on once racing got going. But all we can hope for is more sustained challenges and Red Bull basically not having it so easy. and it was too easy for them last year. It was Ferrari 2002 and 2004 all over again. And for anyone who didn't watch that, isn't old enough, then you just got an eye opening to it, and it was probably worse last year than the Ferrari seasons ever were, because McLaren and Williams did pinch a few races, and even Renault pinched races in 2004, and I think Esteban Ocon is about to take the lead. Here he goes. Esty Bestie. Oh, I thought they were about to make contact there. That was close. Alright, we're winning the race again. Hooray!
Awesome. Good job there.
Another question for you guys in the chat. Who is the driver most likely to be replaced mid-season? Obviously we had Nick de Vries axed mid-season last year, and then his replacement got replaced as well because Ricciardo picked up the injury. Who do you think is going to be most likely to be replaced in their team? Lando Norris has just set the fastest lap. He's on soft tyres. He could be a real threat. Got yellow flags popping up. We've got Alonso in DRS range. It's all kicking off here in Monza. We kind of need Ocon to run away. So if you could do that, please, Esteban, that would be great. If Perez does bad, I hope that Red Bull gives someone else a chance, like Danny Rick or Lawson. Yeah, honestly, I think if Perez is like underperforming, there is a real chance of him being dropped mid-season. If he's looking like he's going to cost Red Bull a Constructors' Championship, they might put Ricciardo in, especially if Ricciardo's performing well in the AlphaTauri. But then, if Tsunoda's beating Ricciardo, then surely he deserves an opportunity. But then, it's the whole Albon Gasly situation again, isn't it? So I think they've learnt their lesson from that. Hello to Luke Hutt in the chat. You reckon it'll be Perez if he's as bad as he was in 23? Yeah, I mean, I'd go along with that. Sargent, maybe. I hope not. I don't think James Vowles would do that.
And DRS is disabled. DRS disabled.
At least I'd hope he wouldn't.
Big lift off now.
I think... Honestly, I think Ricciardo's probably the one that might be replaced. If he starts the season slowly, it might be that he goes to them and says, look, I'm just not feeling it. That's me, I'm done. Then we might see Liam Lawson come back in. I'm with you, Andreas. I don't like mid-season changes, only if, injuries or someone is desperately underperforming, then maybe it's best to put them out of their misery. But I've seen the driver carousel move ridiculous amounts. I remember drivers in the late 90s, early 2000s would drive for 2 or 3 teams in a season. So it was mad. Questionable option, but Zhou, yeah, he didn't progress as much as people hoped he might last season. So maybe, but then he's got that backing and he might stick around. He's not challenging Bottas, that's for sure. I know, I can see that much. He keeps him honest, just about, but he doesn't really push Bottas to be that best version of Bottas that we know he can be. We're still first and second here. This is all going rather nicely. Leclerc is trying to fight back, but if we can get Alonso some DRS, that would be helpful. Very helpful. I think, well, we have just done that. What's our tyre situation looking like? We probably need to relax on the tyres a bit. We've dropped Leclerc now, he's backed off. So I think we will be good to go to the...
So there was a crash.
I won't finish that sentence because there might just be a safety car or something. Who crashed? Who crashed? Kevin! And there's the aforementioned Logan Sargent. Whoa! And there is swearing. We'll have no swearing on this channel, please, Kevin Magnussen. Thank you. Hulkenberg could retire. Yeah, to be fair, Hulkenberg did a good job. I think the most likely candidate of the Haas team to leave is Magnussen. He was outperformed by Hulkenberg last year, but I don't know. Haas are a bit of a funny one. They're a team that threatens to be okay from time to time, but they tend to underperform. And the fact they finished last in the Constructors last year is pretty damning. Right, we're just going to manage the traffic here. We've got a few laps left. What do you think? Do you think we let Alonso maximise his points gain over Hamilton, or do we allow Ocon to win this race, considering he's been at the front the entire time? Alonso obviously made a great start, great first lap in typical Alonso fashion, but I think Esteban's done enough to earn this victory. I really do. Alonso will come to me and go, "Why didn't you let me win this race? I need it for the championship." Well, Ocon deserved it. That's what I think. What do you think? Because if we get to the penultimate lap, I can always switch the instructions round. Leclerc now 2.5 seconds behind and not looking particularly threatening. It's actually slower than Ocon, who's leading the race. Update on the AlphaTauris, they are now 7th and 8th. That's great points for them. Hamilton has recovered to 15th with his half a rear wing. Obviously his top speed would have been massively increased. Look at that. The Tifosi are just losing their minds because the Ferraris are running away at the front. Now 4 seconds clear. I'm going to let Ocon win this race. I've decided it's happening. Esteban's winning this race. Yeah, Alonso's looked weaker. His stats have been dropping. He had a bit of a nerf earlier on in the season. He is getting a bit older, his old Nando. So yeah, I'll let Ocon win this one. But Alonso can just follow him home. That's fine. What else is going on? Just having a look, see if there's any other interesting stories. Haas are 8th and 10th. Decent points for them. But this is the main story. We have eventually dominated this race. We've perfected our strategy again. Red Bull went aggressive on soft tyres, tried to get an undercut. Their strategy failed because they didn't get away. Because Ocon stuck with Leclerc, he's been able to profit from it. So he's going to profit in the biggest possible way. He's going to win the Italian Grand Prix unless we're not doing an Austria. Oh no! I don't believe it! Oh my gosh! He's blown it. He was going to win. I don't believe what I've just seen.
This is amazing.
Yeah, you're doing a fantastic race.
He did exactly the same thing in Belgium.
Taking the flag.
Ocon has blown the win
Awesome race.
on the last lap.
Fantastic run, guys.
He literally had 4 corners to do.
Long race.
And he's locked up at Ascari, and oh, at least he's yeah, Alonso is laughing his head off right now. I'm stunned, absolutely stunned. Oh, that's the wrong button. No, don't quit to main menu. Absolutely incredible, but I mean, we've still got a 1-2 out of it somehow. I don't believe it. That is... We were literally just saying how well he had done. And, oh. I mean, obviously it's great for Fernando's championship, but I was just saying, maybe I was going to sort of tongue-in-cheek say we do an Austria 2002 and order Alonso through on the last corner. I must have manifested it. Oh. I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock. I don't believe what I've just seen. He doesn't look very happy. He's putting on a brave face. See you later, Andreas. 2% battery. I'm impressed you've made it this far. Thank you for sticking with it. And good night. Alright, well, Fernando Alonso wins despite a grid drop. Esteban Ocon started on pole and was going to win the race until he blew it on the last lap. Absolutely incredible scenes. Lewis Hamilton, though, bad day for him. Constructors' Championship, Ferrari take the lead. It's been a good night for Ferrari. 2 victories, and now we lead both championships. Fernando Alonso. Lewis Hamilton had 267 points at the start of this stream. He still has 267 points. Fernando Alonso now, what is that? That is what? 27 points clear, I think, of Alonso. Alonso is of Hamilton. Just quick mental maths. Decent points for AlphaTauri. Where are they in the? They're 6 in the constructors. That is great from them. McLaren in the mud with only 6 points. Haas have got 29 points. Williams have got 27. Very, very interesting. All very interesting. Alfa Romeo completely in the mud because Piastri's stats on the start of the game are very, very bad. And I think Zhou is the only driver to remain with his current team on the randomisation. So, yeah, they kind of got screwed there a little bit. Right, let's move to the main menus. And then we will call that a stream. We'll bring the checkered flag down on another stream. Oliver Behrman, our reserve driver, improves to 70 overall rated. Right. Well, that was 2 wins tonight. That was very, very nice. I still can't get over what I've just seen Esteban Ocon do. Unbelievable. I mean, absolutely balmy. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the stream, obviously, subscribe if you enjoyed it. Like the stream if you enjoyed it too. And thanks everyone for joining me. There's no random grid stream next Saturday because it's the start of the Formula E season. So I know Formula E splits opinion. So if you want to join me for a bit of Formula E watch along action, then please do so. But the randomised grid streams will return the week after. Although actually no, I think I might be out the week after them. We might rearrange the day for the week after, but I'll schedule it. I'll put it on the community, and you'll be able to be kept fully up to date with when the streams are coming. So thank you for joining me today. Will a video be out tomorrow? There is a shorts coming out tomorrow. There was one uploaded today. There's one that will come out tomorrow as well. And then we've got, what have we got Monday? We've got round 2 of season 4, the Japanese Grand Prix, which I edited this morning. That's coming out Monday, the Mercedes career journey. Then we've got another experiment video on Wednesday. And then round 3, which is, ironically, the Singapore Grand Prix with Mercedes on Friday. So lots to look forward to this week. And yeah, I will see you next week for some Formula E live watch-along action. Thanks very much for joining me tonight. Have a lovely rest of your weekend, and I will see you next time. You're the best fans. Bye for now.